Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Of course, every Monday the TTPS join us on set, and this morning we have Inspector Michelle Lewis representing yet again. And today is actually the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and girls, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this morning, Inspector, we're chatting a bit about that on the TTPS and what work we're doing in that field. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to the both of you, and good morning to the national and international audience. This morning, as you've hit it on the topic, right? So today being the 25th of November, Elimination Against Violence Against Women and Girls. It starts 16 days of activism, gender-based violence, particularly against women and girls. And it ends on the 10th of December, which is International Human Rights Day.
Yeah.
So it's an international campaign that Trinidad and Tobago is participating in, and of course the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So it's an international campaign against violence against women and girls.
So how is the TTPS taking part in the 16 days of activism? What is it?
Of course, this morning, through your station, of course, we are giving information, bringing members of the public aware of some of the things that constitute to domestic violence or gender-based violence, and how you as an individual can help to prevent that and to support somebody who is.
All right, let me get the information then.
So, of course, so looking at gender-based, and when we say gender-based, it really means in terms of partner, and gender meaning women in most cases, though there are reports and incidents of violence against men by women, the percentage against women by men is higher. And so based on the global scheme of things, that is where the discussion is this morning. All right? So this morning,
I want to say.
Yes,
Inspector,
you want to say.
I just want to say though. I just want to note: is it that is a fact, or is it that the reported cases are higher?
Well, we go by the data, and the data reflects what are reported matters.
Okay.
And the data in Trinidad suggests the same, but I don't have the data this morning.
But it's reported cases we're referring to.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
And even so, there are also a lot of cases, either way, that are not reported.
That are unreported, yeah.
Right, but we can't go with...
Understood.
Right,
Go
so
ahead.
when you look at information in relation to persons who are victims of some type of abuse, and abuse meaning sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional or psychological abuse, and of course financial. Financial abuse, where in most cases it is to deprive the person in one way or the other. It is to intimidate the person one way or the other, cause fear. Of course, the physical is obvious, and the others like emotional and psychological plays on your mind, like mind games and that kind of thing. So intimidate and isolate the person and that kind of thing. So where you see any type of abuse taking place against a woman or a girl, this is where we want members of the public to come out and break the silence about it. A lot of times what happens is that persons will be suffering in silence, not knowing that what they're actually going through and experiencing are symptoms or cases or matters where persons are actually being abused. So that where you see someone being abused, or you know of a friend that is being abused based on what they are saying to you, there's help available. And there's help available in the TTPS, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, through Gender-Based Violence Unit, as well as other non-governmental agencies like Coalition Against Domestic Violence Against Women and other non-profit groups.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because one of the things, especially when it comes to, let's say, gender-based violence towards women specifically, is that while it's very easy to say there's help available, many times we do see women in situations where they may not feel safe to talk. They do not know who they can trust, or something that we do see happen is a report may be made or some sort of inquiry starts and then they withdraw. So what services are in place for women who need to be heard but may not honestly be ready to recognize and take that step of doing, let's say, an official report? What can we do there?
There's an important part that the community plays before the person can come to make a report, which is crucial.
Yeah.
Believing that what the person is saying to you is important, that the person who is relaying their hurt and their pain to you, that you believe them, you don't make them feel like they are a victim, don't make them feel, that, you caused this upon yourself. And once you give that person that personal empowerment to feel that, okay, this is really bad and shouldn't be happening to me. The next step is to encourage them to talk to a professional and or the police, where they can get that support.
Now, Inspector, along the years, one of the things that has remained consistent is the saying, don't get involved in man and woman thing. And there's a reason that saying came to be, right?
Yeah.
Is because oftentimes you see people who, you know, they get that feeling of empowerment. We give them that empowerment and we say, yes, go out there and do what is right. And they go, they make the report, and as Natasha mentioned just now, they withdraw. Sometimes they cancel everything and they end up back with the same person. And there are various reasons for it. But that's also part of the reason why the community feels like they may not want to get involved. Can we report things like financial abuse? Can we report things like emotional abuse? Or is it only the physical that we are able to report to the police?
We can report all categories of abuse. And just to go back to what you said in relation to the society and persons don't want to get involved in man and woman business. Sometimes when we see reports where the matter turned out fatal, is in a lot of cases where the person would have gone back to the person and not sticking to this decision that you made. The decision that you make in domestic violence matter is really a strong one. And it is one where they need support from family and the society, because they're changing their life and whatever comfort that they were in there, because sometimes they can't afford to live alone. Sometimes the support with the children and all kinds of things. So they need the support of the family and the community to be able to move. And when they don't get that type of support, they find they revert. Not sometimes because they 100% want to or want back that type of abuse, but they go back because of. And there is where the society and the family must help.
Okay. So
Go ahead, because
Okay.
I don't think Inspector want me to go again.
I want you to go because we have listening audience and you're bringing all the,
yeah,
the,
because
the
that's the
actual
thing about
incidents.
the thing about it is that, I mean, I've seen situations, or I know of situations where people had the support and they run away from the support to go back into the situation because love, because whatever else they feel the need to be there, they feel guilty that they've abandoned the situation that they were in, whatever the other reasons and complications are. People have their various reasons, and it's not just only as black and white as support me and I will stay here. It don't ever work so easy. So what advice would you give to the community in terms of how do I offer that support even further? Because I could say, I'm here for you, I can give you a room in my house, and you're sneaking out in the middle of the night to go back by the man that was beating you.
So there is a level of shame and disgrace that goes with domestic violence and separation in the first instance.
Right.
And society sometimes play a very pivotal role or heavy role in causing you, it weighs upon you as someone who has been abused. And things like that sometimes cause you to go back into a situation, right? Because there are several reasons. It doesn't have to be financial.
Right.
But then when you find yourself engaged in other social activity that helps to build your self-esteem and build you as an individual, it strengthens you and not want you to go back. So whatever, it may be an art class, it may be, you further in your education because you want to get a degree, something else that is going to boost your self-esteem and your character that will make you stronger.
So I'm definitely going to jump in here now, because I mean, all of that, of course, is, these are life hacks in general for when it comes to building yourself. But the reality is as well, when we see women in these situations, one, as you would have mentioned and Ruckus would have definitely alluded to, is the psychological components of it as well. Battered woman syndrome is something that we do see. Not everybody will be able to understand it. So this is now where I would say as well, with the TTPS, what about psychosocial supports and what about confidence? Because many times as well, when women do go, let's say they are victims, to report, there is always that fear of being found out and, God forbid, being in a worse state of what you're reporting, whether their life is going to be on the line. So does the TTPS have the confidence available to those who are willing to report? And what about the psychosocial support, which is very important as well, going through the process? Because there have been times, where people will go and they'll report and nothing happens.
Yes, so the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has, as we know, we have the gender-based violence unit,
Right.
which we have established just about 5 years ago, right, specifically to deal with matters like that, where the person doesn't have to go to a general police station station in the district, they can go to the specialized unit and make their reports, where we have officers who are specially trained to treat with these type of matters, regardless of the sex of the person, whether the victim is a male or the victim is a female. But of course, we just keep on with the topic that we're discussing this morning. Further to that, now we also have the Victim and Witness Support Unit, where you have social workers, professionals, non-police, who can give that form of counseling and strength and support continuously to the victims, so that you have where, and then of course you also have the situation where if it is the person needs to be removed from that place and placed in a safe house, we also have that facility, right? So there are all the factors, all the support that are available. I must say that the TTPS has it, and it is there in the community, in the country. The challenge is the individuals being strong to go through and maintain the process, because even when you go into a safe house, we have no cases of persons, any fatal or anything happening to persons that are in safe house in the TTPS. We have no record of that. Once in the safe house with the service, you're good. But when you have persons that come out...
How long am I in there for? How long am I allowed to stay in that safe house?
So the safe house is for your protection.
Right.
And as long, so what the police will also do, we'll also do a risk assessment to see, so there are different types of safe houses, right? There are safe houses in relation to, let us say, a homicide, murder, or something like that.
And physical violence, we're talking physical violence.
And then there are NGOs that have houses, shelters, right? Shelters where they will place the person. They will place them probably for a period of 6 months, and then depending on the situation, they will assess it again. Now, sometimes when they put these persons in a safe house, they're not supposed to communicate with persons outside. They're not supposed to communicate with these very same person that would have caused them to be there and that kind of thing. So the cell phone and a lot of, they have a lot of restrictions, and sometimes they do not like the type of restrictions that they have to live under when they are in such places. And sometimes they want to leave those places to go back to their normal...
It's the same thing we just talked about in the community.
Yeah. And so that's why we are maintaining the importance here is for the family and the society to be able to give that support. And once that support is there, then we have persons who are emboldened, who are strong, and who can come out of that situation. But it's important to know that wherever you are seeing any type of abuse perpetrated against someone, that you support the person and believe what they are saying to be able to help them.
Inspector, unfortunately, we are out of time. This is one of those conversations. We know it's 16 days, so hopefully we can revisit this because there's definitely a lot that has been untouched this morning.
Come back more on Mondays, Inspector.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the support.
It's a pleasure to have you. This is the Now Morning Show, the TTPS with us every single Monday. Stay tuned. There's more coming up after this break.
Love and peace.